Welcome to the Association Weekend here at NBA headquarters. I'm Lauren Rosen, joined by Greg Kessler. We're going to recap Hawks versus Knicks in just a moment, get you through all of today's action, and then preview our nightcap in Los Angeles. So without further ado, Greg Kessler, you ready to jump in?
Lauren, how are you? Looking forward to hanging out with you a little bit tonight.
I'm doing great. It's an honor to be here with Special K. So Special K, let's dive into what we just saw. It's been a great day for the home teams and the high seeds. The Hawks made a late push, but the Knicks held it down. What'd you see in the third matchup of the day?
Well, I thought the Hawks did a fantastic job in the second half. It was a really tight game in the first half. The Hawks fell down, but they were resilient. They kept fighting. Jalen Johnson's a terrific player. But what you have with the Hawks largely are, guys that are still trying to figure out each other, how to play together, and there's some inexperience there, and the Knicks took full advantage of that in the second half. I think the key to the Knicks, as we all could see tonight, is the fact that if Karl Anthony Towns is engaged, then they can win games, and they can win playoff games. He did not play very well, only 6 shots, making 1 in the first half, but a big second half explosion, and there was very little that the Hawks could do with that. I think he's the key to this series for them.
Greg, what did you see change for Karl Towns? He finished with 25 points, just 9, though, in the first half. What was he able to unlock down the stretch?
Well, I think that he has to demand the ball, and he has to just be more assertive. It's on him. He's such a terrific player, but he cannot go a half with just 6 shots. Clearly, he got quite a few more than that in the second half, got a rhythm. I don't think this is a confidence thing for him. He's been in the league a long time. He's had tremendous success. He's a multi-time All-Star, and he's had success in the playoffs. So he's just got to bring it upon himself. He cannot start games slow. He cannot drift into the game. He's got to be ready to go from the very start. Brunson did a heck of a job in the first quarter with 19 points to keep them going until everybody else caught up. But a fully engaged Karl Anthony Towns from the very beginning is going to help New York a lot.
Now, Greg, it's a long series, of course. We've discussed the fact that we both believe that this Hawks team can get a few wins in the series, if not more. This is a team that looks, of course, very different than it did when it started the season. Jalen Johnson is now the head of the Snakes. CJ McCollum was their leading scorer here tonight. If they're going to get over the hump, maybe steal game 2 on the road, get a couple wins at home, what do the Hawks need to do a little better?
I think they've got to be more consistent with their ball movement. They seem to go one-on-one maybe a little too much, and shooting 38% as a team from three-point land is not bad, but I thought there were some opportunities where they looked to be impatient, they looked to be hurrying things, maybe a little tiny bit of panic. Again, a lot of this probably attributable to the fact that they're young and they don't have a whole lot of playoff experience on that team, certainly not together. Whereas the Knicks, they've been here and they've done it, and the expectations for them are really high this year. But I think that the way the Hawks finished the game, this thing looked like the Knicks might take it up to a 15, maybe 20-point blowout. I thought the Hawks did a better job finishing it, and maybe they'll carry that with them. There's certainly some cleanup that they've got to do if they're going to win a game in Madison Square Garden. It's not easy to win there, but I harken back to what the Pistons did last year. They lost game 1 narrowly, but they came back and they won game 2. And there's no reason the Hawks can't do the same thing.
Never easy to win at Madison Square Garden, even more challenging to do so in the playoffs. The Knicks were 30-10 at home this season. Quinn Snyder addressing reporters about what the Hawks might do a little bit better in game 2 on the road.
Things that they were doing to us. I thought we can play better, and offensively, I think, the physicality of the game 1, just kind of, I thought we responded well to that. And there's points when, our we need to, the formula for us and, our identity has been to run and move the ball. And it's not like we didn't do that, but we need to do more of it. And, we're playing obviously a really good team, and it's game one, and, you take it, you watch it, and we'll see more specifically some of the things that we need to do to be better.
Mentioning that you want to run, you went to the fouling Robinson in the third quarter. Obviously, you missed the shots, but it seems like it slows down the game a little bit. How do you sort of balance what's working, what's not there? Well,
they got to the line a lot. So I think he was 1 for 4 from the line, so you could make an argument that, that helped us. But you make a good point. That's what you're weighing on some level. But I think what I'm referring to is, not those 2 trips to the line. And in general, I think us understanding we need to play without fouling. But as much as anything, I think our discipline passing the ball ahead and those opportunities outside of the free throws, when anybody's shooting from the line, that we need to continue to be committed to that. I think when we do run, some of it is, really trying to get to the rim. And if we can't get to the rim, to get out and get more threes.
Hi, Coach. Jaden is in a rhythm the first quarter, scoring like 3 points. How do you find hard to guard it, and what's your defensive strategy for next game? Trying to adjust to maybe more double teams, and how do you adjust to it?
Well, their whole team was in a rhythm. I think they came out shooting the ball really, really well. And some of that, when you're in the first quarter and, you feel like you've got really good perimeter defenders, that you need to let them guard. And I think we did, as the game went on, look to double team him and hit him in certain situations. But he's gonna have quarters where he gets going. And certainly, again, it's game one. We'll look at it, and if we feel like we can do something different to help our team, we will.
Coach, go back to the Mitchell Robinson decision. Just what went into the decision to start fouling, and when you did there at that point? They
were close to the bonus, and so that's something that you measure, and I think I've said that before the game too. He's a very impactful player, and so in an opportunity to do that, decided it made sense. It only happened twice, so again, we can look at that, but that's 2 possessions. I think there were a lot of other possessions, and where they got to the line as well, and that third quarter in particular.
Was that Mo? Did you want Mo to take those 2? Was that the plan for Mo to take them?
Yeah, we could have subbed in, but we had, the way that our rotation works, Mo isn't playing as many minutes, and he's obviously spelling our depth there. We have Tony as well, but I thought Mo did a really good job, and we didn't find ourselves in a situation where the foul trouble hurt us.
Speaking of impactful, it seemed like Onyeka was pretty impactful all around in the game. Just what did you see from him as far as just his, ability on KAT and then obviously his offensive impact?
Yeah, I mean, it's KAT, he's a handful, and so is Brunson. Just like you guys mentioned, he got it going early, and then I think we did a better job. And some of that is not so much what we're doing, it's just, there's odds that over the course of the game that, if you keep working and keep defending, that you impact. But with respect with Onyeka, him being ready and aggressive shooting the 3 is important for us, and really our whole team. We need to keep taking open shots because the way they are defensively, they shift so well. If you pass something up. But I think we can do a better job of moving the ball. And you're not going to get, when I say that, when you do get in the paint, even when you kick it out, that may not be the shot you get. And again, this is the first game, and we'll look at it and see the things that we can do better. And I know our players understand that as well.
Coach, you took more shots than the Knicks. They were a little bit tidier with their execution, but how happy were you with the shot selection that you guys got?
Again, defining what a good shot is really difficult, especially in a playoff situation. You've got guys that they need to have the confidence that they can to attack and make plays. And not every shot you're going to get is going to be wide open. That makes it easy. What you can do is continue to work, to get the best shots you can. And we know how to do that. And we've got to keep doing it and do everything, a little better. There's some good things that we did. I like the way that we came back at the end of the game. We were resilient in that situation, and it was just, too little, too late.
On that note of working, would you like CJ's aggressiveness?
Oh, yeah. No, I think that aggressiveness we need that from everybody, and it's not always, you may not always be the one that gets the shot. But that aggressiveness is something I think, particularly when you play a team that's as good as they are defensively, you can't just pass it around the perimeter and say you've moved it. You've got to attack and make reads. And CJ did a good job of that, obviously. Okay?
All right.
Quinn Snyder preaching aggression, preaching ball movement. Greg Kessler, this Hawks team led in the regular season all NBA teams in assists per game, averaging over 30 assists per game, 25 tonight. How can they move the ball a little bit better and score more effectively?
Again, I think it comes down to just being patient and working the shot clock and not feeling like you have to take every three that might seem open, driving the ball to the hoop. Kicking it out oftentimes will buy a shooter that's open a little more time to set himself and knock down the shot, shoot it confidently. There were stretches in this game where they did pass it well, and they were cutting and they were moving it, and everybody on the floor was a threat. That's what you ultimately want. You want every position to be a threat to score the ball. But I just felt like maybe too often it became one-on-one basketball, and going against a team like New York, especially the way they were playing, that was playing right into their hands. They invited that. And I agree with Coach Snyder. If they can figure out a way to get a few more running opportunities so that you're not having to work out of the half court exclusively, that too will help. And especially on the road, it'll help that shooting percentage. It'll take some stress off the half court game.
Well, game one was thrilling to watch. Game two will be exciting. We are just getting started here on NBA TV and the NBA app. More coverage from Madison Square Garden when we come back. Plus, we'll look ahead to what's happening as action is underway in Los Angeles. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.